Hi everyone, we are the Brexit team and we are the winning team of the year. We are going to present you, through a short video, the Brexit with 4 people who contribute to its elaboration.
Here we are with Sebastian and the previous Prime Minister of Great Britain, David Cameron. What motivated you to hold the referendum?
Well, Sebastian, the goal was to give back sovereignty to the UK. To be honest with you, it was also an electoral promise during 2013, and you have to understand the Conservative Party was divided. On the end, on the one hand, you had the pro-Brexit, and in the other hand, the anti-Brexit. During the referendum was doing a referendum was a solution to cool down the pro-Brexit ardor. On the side of the anti-Brexit, we hoped that the referendum was going to consolidate the fact that the UK was an European Union member.
Now we are with Nigel Farage, who is the previous leader of UKIP, the main pro-Brexit party. Hi Mr. Farage, did you and your party play the role in the referendum being accepted?
Well, we gathered a lot of Eurosceptics who are concerned regarding the issue of immigration and of money being given to least developed countries without receiving much back. Thanks to my friend Aaron Banks, we are able to access customer data from an insurance company in order to send politic messages.
Now, here we are with Mr. Juncker, who is the President of the European Union. Hello, Mr. Juncker. How do you feel about the decision of the UK to leave the European Union?
Well, I regret but respect the decision. I also think that Brexit is a source of uncertainty and disruption. I'm determined to create as much clarity as possible for citizens and companies in this situation where the UK left the European Union after more than 4 decades of closest economic and political integration. That is why we wish to establish as close as possible a relation with the United Kingdom in the future.
Here we are at last with Mrs. May, the actual Prime Minister of the UK. Welcome, Mrs. May. What's your role when it's come to Brexit?
When I was elected as Prime Minister of the UK, my role after the 2016 referendum was to reconcile the opposition party within the Conservative Party. At the beginning, we wanted the separation, but changed our mind because it wasn't possible for different reasons. Now I try for the 3rd time to make my text pass with the European Union, but the British government doesn't accept this one because it's too much conciliant with Brussels. And if the government won't accept this text, the UK will not leave the European Union for months or more.
Oxford, known the world over for its history and university. A city where just over 70% of voters rejected the Leave politics and opted for Britain to stay in the European Union. 18-year-old students Benedict and James were too young to vote in the referendum back then. How do they feel about what's now happening with Brexit?
Ultimately, I don't want us to be tied to Europe for years to come in a kind of limbo.
I'm not too fussed about what outcome there is, whether we're in the Union, out of the Union, whether we have a soft or hard Brexit. Really just a deal that works, and actually works for us and for young people, especially with working abroad, with opportunities to study abroad.
Benedict, if you had the chance to vote now whether Brexit should happen or not, which way would you go?
Personally, I would vote to continue leaving the European Union because we are too far gone, I feel, to try and reintegrate with Europe and remain in the European framework.
Well, that's the view of students, but what do people more widely here in Oxford think about Brexit after all that's happened since the referendum and all that turmoil engulfing Westminster? We're going to do a little vote of our own in the streets here. There are 3 questions on our ballot paper: whether Theresa May's Brexit deal should be backed, whether Parliament should reject it, or whether people think there should be a second referendum.
I think a lot of the British public were lied to in the first referendum, and I think this time when there's more information about what is actually being offered with Brexit, the people need to have another chance to have a vote.
Yeah, there was a lot of lies, yeah, I'd agree with that. So I think I'd go for another vote if I could.
So the deal is the right one?
It is the right one.
You said that the deal should go through. Why is that?
As far as I know, just because I'm so bored with the whole thing, and I assume she's done her best. And
But do you understand what's in the deal?
no, not at all. Does anybody? Does anybody?
So how can you say it should go through?
Just to get to an end of it, to have certainty.
Well, the final results are in. We've spoken to just under 30 people in the past 20 minutes or so, and the result is overwhelming. Most people, by far, want a second referendum. Oxford, like other cities up and down the UK, waits with wonder. What next for Brexit Britain as Westminster fights over its future? Damon Embling, Euronews, Oxford.